Hi, this is Lindsay with Yoga Bliss, and today we're going to do a really short either warm up, you could use it as a warm up or a cool down sequence. We can specifically think of this for runners, cyclists, athletes, but really anyone can do this. So grab a mat and join me. So we're going to start by sitting in a comfortable seated position, bring hands to heart center, and just rest the thumbs against the sternum, against the chest. And just gently close the eyes and just start to focus on the breath. We're going to be here for just a moment. So try to just watch that breath move in and out through the body, filling the belly like a balloon on the inhale, expanding the ribs, gently closing the eyes. And if you know that your hips are tight, sometimes it helps to sit up on a folded towel. So that what that does is that lifts the hips and it lengthens the spine so we can reach up through the crown of the head. And what we mean by that is keeping the spine long instead of rounding the back and collapsing forward and rounding onto the tailbone. We want that spine nice and long. Inhale deep into the belly. Slowly exhale. One more. Inhale deep into the belly. And slowly exhale. And bring the hands down. And then from here, we're going to inhale the arms up overhead and drop one hand down to the mat, reaching over and up. So we're really trying to reach more up than collapse down towards the floor. Reaching up, opening the side body, stretching out the top of the hip. Inhale up, exhale opposite side. Again, feeling that stretch and opening on the outside of the ribs, creating a little bit more space there. Inhale up, and then bring the hands and just rest the hands on top of the knees. And then from here, we're just going to make a couple of small circles just to start to open the hips. So it doesn't matter which way we start. We're just going to start rotating around the top of the hips and then coming back. So we're just starting to make some small circles here, gradually getting those circles bigger. If you want to try, you can try to coordinate the breath. Exhale to the back, inhale to the front. And then if we really want to take this further, we can actually get the spine involved a little bit more, rounding the back on the back side on the exhale, slightly arch to the front on the inhale. And then change direction. Same thing. So you can try to round to the back side, inhale, slightly arch to the front. Let's do one more full circle on this side. And then coming back to center. And then from here, just drop the chin down to the chest, roll the shoulders down, and roll onto the tailbone just a bit. And then inhale, slightly arch, lift the chest. Exhale, round. Really opening the upper back here, working all the way through the spine. Exhale and inhale. And then we're going to go ahead and come off of the towel if you're using one. So just move the towel out of your way and then come up into tabletop. So from tabletop, we want the wrists under the shoulders, fingers spread wide. And then we want the hips, or the knees directly under the hips, about hip width apart. So we're in a strong tabletop here. And our hands are going to be about shoulder width apart, knees about hip distance apart. So just for a moment, find your tabletop here. And then draw the belly into the small of the back. And then we're going to lift the right knee up to the sky. So the sole of the foot is going to press up towards the sky. And we're just going to be at hip height. So we don't want all the way up or all the way down, just right about hip height. Keep that belly drawing into the small of the back. And we're going to make a couple of circles here to start to open the hips. So staying focused on your breath. Inhale and exhale, gradually getting these hip circles a little bit bigger. And then change direction. So if this seems a little awkward, just stay with it. Just do what you can. Have some fun with it. Laugh a little if you can. It will get easier. And then extend that leg straight back. So from here, we really want to watch that the belly is drawing into the small of the back, and we're not dropping the belly down towards the floor. And then open 45 degrees. So we're really getting into the hip muscles here, coming back to center, and drop that leg down. Left leg, same thing. So the knees bent, the sole of the foot comes up to the sky. And again, right at hip height, draw the belly into the small of the back. So we're firming and toning the belly here. And then again, we're just going to do some small circles in one direction. Staying connected to that inhale and exhale, gradually getting these circles bigger. And then change direction. Keep drawing the belly into the small of the back. And then from here, stretch that leg straight back, reaching through the crown of the head. Toes point down to the ground. Tone the belly. And then open 45 degrees. Again, we're keeping that foot at about hip height, not too high, not too low. And then back to center. And lower that foot down. And then we're going to extend the right leg straight back again. Right leg straight back, toes point down. Really press through the sole of the foot here. Keep the belly drawing into the small of the back. Inhale. As you exhale, draw the knee up towards the chin. And then step the foot through. If the foot makes it just to the knee, that's great. Grab a hold behind the ankle and just help that foot forward. So we're bringing the foot forward, and then here we want to watch that the knee is over the ankle and not the other way. We don't want the foot back here where the knee is already over the toes. So we want that foot pretty far forward. And if this bothers your knee, you can always grab your folded towel and put it right under your knee for a little bit more cushion. From here, we're going to rock the hips forward. Inhale, the arms up, really getting into the front side of that left leg. Reaching up here, reach up through the crown of the head. Exhale, one hand on either side of the front foot. Draw the front foot back to tabletop. Extend the left leg straight back. Again, strong core here, toes point down. Inhale. And exhale, step the foot through. It doesn't have to go all the way. Maybe just to the knee, maybe a little bit further. Help it out. From here, rock the hips forward and inhale. Bring the arms up. Shoulders stay down and away from the ears. We don't want the shoulders creeping up. Shoulders stay down. Fingers spread wide. And again, we're opening the hip flexor on the right leg this time. Inhale, exhale, one hand on either side of the front foot. Draw the front foot back to tabletop. Coming back into your tabletop here, tuck the toes. And then open the knees pretty wide. So maybe that distance, maybe a little bit further. And then bring the feet directly behind the knees. and press the hips back. So just for a moment, we're in a wide-legged child's pose, but our feet are actually, instead of being tucked under, just for a moment, try to keep the feet out as well. And then we're going to come halfway up, and what we're going to do is just start to make almost like half circles with the hips. So we're going to rock the hips to the right, come up and forward a little bit, press back and swing through, come to the left. Swing back and through, come to the right. So we're getting into the hips a little bit more, deepening that openness in the hips. If you can coordinate your breath, exhale as we press back. Inhale to the right side. Exhale, press back. Inhale to the left. So a few more times here. If you find a really tight spot, go ahead and stay with that tight spot. Breathe into that tight spot. Take an extra full breath and then catch back up whenever you're ready. And then back to center. Bring the toes in, bring the knees in, and then lift the hips. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Release the heels down to the mat. If they don't go and the hamstrings are tight, just bend the knees. Shake the head no, so we're not holding any tension in the neck. Allow the knees to bend as much as they want. And just start to feel whenever the hamstrings start to open, the heels will just start to melt down towards the ground. So the fingers are spread wide. We're pressing the hips back, allowing the chest to start to melt towards the thighs. Heels release down. And just take a couple of deep breaths here. Inhale, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. One more full deep breath here. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to walk the feet up towards the hands. Bend the knees whenever you need to. So we're going to start to walk the feet up. And it doesn't matter when you need to bend your knees. Whenever the hamstrings get tight and it makes it difficult, just bend the knees as deep as you need to get the feet forward. And then coming to the front edge of the mat, forward fold here. The knees can stay bent. Release the head. Doesn't matter where the arms are, they can be crossed at the elbows. So we just want to release and open the lower back and the hamstrings. And just dangle for a minute. If you want to make this a little bit more active, now you stay right there. I'm going to turn just so you guys can see. If you want to make this a little bit more active, you can take your first 2 fingers and wrap it around your big toes. So if you can comfortably touch the floor and release the head, and you want to make this a little bit more active, wrap the first 2 fingers around the big toes, and then just draw the elbows away from the center of the body. Release the head. And then from here, release the toes, roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Take this nice and slow. Bend the knees, of course, whenever you need. Coming up into your Tadasana, mountain pose. So hands at heart center, reaching up through the crown of the head, lengthening the spine, staying even on the feet here. Inhale, and we're going to exhale back into Uttanasana, forward fold. So inhale here. You can close the eyes if you'd like. Exhale forward. Release the head, release the hands. And this time, as we come up, we're going to come up. If you need to, come back into your Tadasana first. If you can, we're going to shift the weight as we roll up one vertebrae at a time. We're going to shift the weight onto the left foot, bring the hands to heart center, into tree pose for Kasana. So let's talk tree pose real quick. Kickstand, toes can be on the mat. If you've got this and you're comfortable here, the foot can come up right onto the ankle. The foot can come up onto the lower leg. The only place we don't want the foot is right on the knee. If you're comfortable and you want to take it further, grab a hold of that foot and press it up against the thigh. As the base leg, we want to firm the base leg. So we want to make a strong trunk here and firm that base leg. We don't want to lock the knee out, but we want all of the muscles to be engaged, toes are spread wide. And then press the right foot into that leg. So we're creating a solid foundation. And then from here, just keep the hands at heart center for today. Reaching up through the crown of the head. Working on a little bit of balance here. Making sure that the base knee has a teeny tiny slight bend. One more full breath here. Inhale. Exhale, lower that foot. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana again. Release the hands, release the head. And again, the knees can be bent. There's no rules. We don't have to extend and straighten those legs. We can keep the knees bent as much as we want to allow for more movement in the hamstrings. Again, we're going to come up and come into tree pose. So roll up one vertebrae at a time. As we roll up, we're shifting the weight slightly to the right. Hands come to heart center. So again, lifting up through the belly, kickstand, and then we work on bringing the toes up onto the calf. If you want to take this further, help it out, help that foot out, bring the foot all the way up, creating a strong foundation, finding your focal point, preferably something that doesn't move, something just slightly higher than eye level if you can. Keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears, the toes spread wide, so we're not gripping with the toes of the base leg. Again, creating that strong foundation, and then just start to open the knees. So whatever knee is up right now, we're just going to start to open it out to the side. And it doesn't matter how far it goes today. Just keep working on it. One more full breath. Inhale. And exhale, lower down. Back into your Tadasana, and then we're going to come down onto our knees. So I'll face sideways so you guys can see. So we're going to come down. This time we're going to tuck the toes. So what we're going to do is tuck the toes, and then we're going to sit back on the heels. This gets intense fast. So if you have a towel handy, which I highly recommend, you can always place this in between the legs like this, but with the toes tucked. So toes tucked, if that works for you, if that works better. So I'm going to face you, and you can always move this in and out. When this becomes too much, you can always come up onto the knees too and try to release a little of that pressure. So sitting back, we're going to open the back up just a little bit. We all know upper backs get a little bit tight. So let's open that up just a little bit. So the right hand is going to come up. Left hand comes under. I'm going to move that just a bit. And then the backs of the hands can just start to press together, or you can wrap the arms, whatever works for you, lifting up through the belly. One more full breath here. Exhale, release the arms. Take a break with the feet if you need to. Come up. Retuck the toes if you need to, and then sit back down. Left hand comes up. Right scoops under. So again here, working eventually unwrapping. Drop the shoulders and make the back nice and open and broad. So we don't want the shoulders to creep up to the ears. Drop the shoulders down and away from the ears. Taking a couple of deep breaths here. Inhale. And exhale, release the arms. And then release the feet. Swing the legs around. And then finally, we're going to come into fire log pose. So if you can, we're going to bring the right leg out and the left leg is going to be on top. So if this left knee, lots of props today, if this left knee doesn't rest on the foot, just place a towel underneath that knee so it's got a little bit more support. What we want to create is foot to knee, knee. Yeah, foot to knee, knee to foot. So we're stacking the lower legs. Inhale here, reach up through the crown of the head. Slowly exhale. If this works for you, just for a moment. Taking a couple of deep breaths here, getting into those hips a little bit more. Slowly inhale into the tight spots, because we know we've got a lot of tight spots here, and slowly exhale. Try to release some more of that tension, a little bit more of the tightness here. Slowly come up, and then we're going to switch the legs. So left knee, left leg is going to be on bottom. So the right foot comes up on top of the left knee, right knee on top of the left foot. Again, you can always use your towel, placing it under the knee for a little bit more support if that works for you. Reaching up through the crown of the head and exhale. Just start. It doesn't matter how far you go. As long as you feel the stretch in the hips and as long as you can feel that stretch, you don't want to push too much. We want to push enough that we feel a stretch, but not so much that it hurts. So we want to find that edge where our limits are and then take a small step back from that. So we're still safe, we're still making progress, and we're not pushing too much. One more full breath here. Inhale and exhale. And I encourage you to pause this and stay. If this feels really good, you're working on some more hip, like loosening up of the hips and opening like hip openers, pause this video, stay here, and do this one more time on each side and see how the second time feels. See if you notice any changes, any differences between the right and the left. And also one side's always going to be tighter than the other. So don't be surprised if one side feels a little more open than the other. And then from here, just come to a comfortable seated position, whatever that means for you. You can tuck the legs up. You can just cross the legs. Whatever position is most comfortable for you. Bring the hands to heart center and just lengthen through the spine. Gently close the eyes. And we'll just end this short session today with 3 full breaths. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Inhale, exhale completely. Namaste.